Welcome back, guys. Thank you for coming back. And this video is all about smart lists. So if you've checked out the filters or don't know what the filters are, stick around. We're going to cover that. If you don't know or don't have smart lists, stick around because we're going to cover that, right? So after a dozen, 2 dozen, 3 dozen, whatever the number is, right, of people, the consultation, main thing that I see is people aren't using the filters. So let me break down, show you guys exactly what the filters are. I'm going to share my screen, and then we're going to get into how that plays into your smart list. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. There we go. Okay, so we have a lot of filtering here. We could go by business name, email, first, last name, all the regular stuff. But then we kick kind of down into the weeds with the address, city, state. You could do birth dates, right? You could do if it's on the DND, which is the do not disturb list. But here's the real key. Every time you add in any field that's specific to your business, that field will show up right down here in custom fields. Okay, so I want you guys to see that now I have the bedrooms, bathrooms, I have some bot stuff there, and all of these are included in my snapshot. Okay, so you can create all your own or
stop it, get some help,
or done for you kind of a system. But if you want to make your own, here's how you do it, and here's how you filter. Okay, so what we want to do is choose some data really to get down into the weeds. Okay, so I'm going to start off with something super easy. So let's say we want to do a particular area. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to choose either the city or the zip code or whatever you want to choose there. Okay, so let's go with the zip code, and in my area there is 21215. You can't see it there, but trust me. Actually, let me show that. 21215. Right now I have 33,000 records under all records. So when we hit apply, that's going to take that 33,000 down to 1,442 records. Okay, so now we have a tighter grip around that data. But what if we wanted to go one more level? Okay, so let's say we want to do, now this is a custom field of mine, but let's say we want to go status, and this is all the ones that are not interested in the past. So now out of that 1,442, now we only have 42 not interested in that 21215 zip code. So now what do we do? Right? Well, traditionally, if you went here and started looking at each individual record, that's fine. But you end up losing this filter. So next time you log in or next time you refresh, you have to come back in, do the new zip code, do the new status of not interested, and all of that just takes way too much time. Well, what you'll notice is at the bottom here, we're going to save it as a smart list. Now, the smart list is easy. Here we have 21215, and I'm just going to say not interested. I'm going to save this smart list. And once I do, it shows up right up there. Okay. It shows up right here. So now you can go right to this filter and check out those same 42 records that you looked at before. Now, let me explain to you why that's so powerful, right? Because when you filter out your records, now you have the most amount of insight onto your data, right? What is the vacant properties that are in the 21215 area code or zip code, sorry, and also senior citizen, owners. We can look for all of that information and save it so that we can go back and look at it at any time. But not only that, right? When we save it under a smart list, now we have other things that we can look at, such as the last activity, when it was created. We could look at the tags or any additional columns that we want to add into this list so that we know exactly what's going on every time we look. So let's say, for example, right now, boilerplate, it doesn't have any additional columns. But we're going to change that, right? We're going to go down. Let's say we go to open mortgages, right? So we want to see if they have any open mortgages. So now this adds as another column here in our smart list. Since we want to save this column showing in the smart list, I'm going to show you guys a trick right now. Okay. You go to more filters and you just hit save. When you hit save, that column will now show up every time you go to that smart list. So think about it. Every smart list can have different columns depending on the importance inside of your company, right? So since we have, look, hold on. Let's pause for a sec. That's awesome, right? Okay. But anyway, now that we have the 42 records, we can market to them. We can click here. We can send them text messages. We can add them into the campaigns, anything we want. But since you created this smart list, what you have to realize is that only you have access to this smart list. Well, how do we change that? Here's how we do that. Okay. So what we want to do is we're going to manage the smart list. Okay. So we're going to go right up top here to manage the smart list, right? We're going to go down to the particular list that we want. Let me move this over to the side. And if you take a look, you'll notice that some of them have this icon here and some of them don't. Well, for the people that already figured it out, that means that this is shared with someone else. Now, how do you do that? Let me take it off of black mode. So when we go to the smart list, then all we do is we open up the smart list. For the people who have already figured it out, you can see this icon here, right? This icon means that this list is shared with other people within the company. But how do you do that? We go right on over here and you can see share smart list. So when you click that, now you can choose everyone in your company by choosing the top box here, share with all users, or you can pick which individual people you want to have access to this list. Okay. So if you notice at the top of my dashboard or my smart list, you have a whole bunch of options up there. Well, for your VA, you only want them to have the data that they own or that they're responsible for or that they're assigned to, right? So you make their smart list, you only share it with them. And now, once you share it with them, that's all they see up here at the top. They won't be bothered with all these other lists. They won't even see it. Okay. The only thing they'll see is what you assign to them. We're keeping them focused on the data that they're responsible for and none of the other stuff. Now, for managers, you want to share way more information. So they'll have a lot of different smart lists. You can break it down into hot, warm, and cold leads, right? The not interested people, the people who haven't been contacted in more than 3 months. That's a killer, right? And that's how you break down everything in order to bring it to your entire company so everybody is on the right path right now. Since you guys stuck around to the end, thank you so much, right? And what I have here is if you go into the comments You'll see a cold call script. Feel free to download that. I'll have that up for you guys in no time. Enjoy. If you have any problems with cold calling, this script is going to help you out 120%. So after you guys set up the entire smart list, now you're ready to go. So now you learn about the filtering options, about putting those in the smart list, and how to share that with your team members to keep everybody on the same page. So thank you for sticking around to the end. As always, like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff. If you find any value, share with somebody who could use it. Okay? Thank you. I'll talk to you later. I'm out. Onto the smart list and make this a little bigger for you guys.